Hi everybody, today my topic is presentation of data. In statistics, after the collection of data, the informations are communicated by means of presentation. The presentation of data is the method by which we can organize, summarize and communicate the information. It is the visual form of presenting the data. So we can visually understand the data. It helps in easy and better understanding. It facilitates the comparison of the data. When the data are presented visually, we can easily make comparison. It provides the first-hand information about the data. It is also helpful in future analysis. It is also very attractive. When we present a data in a table or in a sentence, it won't be much attractive, but it is presented visually means it will be more attractive as well as able to understand even by a layman, that is a normal person can also understand. The principles of presentation. There are some principles for the presentation of data. The main principles for presenting the data is it should be presented in simple form and it should create interest to the readers, and it should be concise, that is it should be short but without losing the important details. It facilitates further statistical analysis. There are two main methods of data presentation. One is the diagrammatic presentation, another one is the graphic presentation. For the construction of diagrams and graphs, there are some rules for the construction of diagrams and graphs. It should be looking decent. So the diagrams or graphs should be neatly drawn and attractive, and the diagrams or graphs must be having a serial number because it is necessary to distinguish one from the other. Each diagram and graph should have suitable headings by which we can get an idea about the particulars which are contained in it. A proper scale should be mentioned. The scale specifies the size of the unit, like one scale indicates 5 centimeter or 5 students or 10 students. Like that, we can understand the scale by means of the scales. Next is the footnotes. The footnote should be given at the bottom of the diagram or the graph. It clarifies certain points in the diagrams or the graph. The index must be given for identifying and understanding the diagram or the graph. The index illustrates different types of lines, shades, or the colors used in the diagrams or the graphs. The most important point is the selection of proper diagram or graph to represent the data. Coming to the diagrammatic presentation of data. Introduction of diagrammatic presentation of data. The diagram is the visual form for the presentation of statistical data. The diagram highlights the basic facts and the relationship. If we draw a diagram on the basis of the data, it will be easily understood by all. The diagrams are of various types such as bar diagram, cartogram, pictogram, pie diagram, etc. The diagrams are based on the scale but not confined to the points or the lines. An ordinary man can understand the pictures and the diagrams more easily than a figures. The merits of diagrams are the diagrams are more attractive and impressive. They can create more effects on the minds of the readers. They also simplify the complex data. They make the comparison more possible. They save the time as well as the labor. They give more information about the data. They have a great memorizing. Even though lots of merits or there some demerits, that is some limitations also there in the diagram, because it only shows the approximate values but not the exact values. By using the approximate values, we cannot use them for further analysis. It cannot be represent all the details. A minor difference in the values is not represented in the diagrams properly. Some of the diagrams can be drawn only by the experts, like a pie diagram. If there is a difference in the scale, it portrays different pictures to the layman, who is a normal person. The types of diagram: the one-dimensional diagram, which includes line diagram, bar diagram, etc., and two-dimensional diagrams like rectangles, squares, pie diagram, and the three-dimensional diagrams like cubes, cylinders, spheres, etc., the pictogram and cartograms. The most important diagrams are a line diagram, bar diagram, pie diagram, pictogram, and the cartogram. It is otherwise called the statistical maps. This one is the line diagram. When the line diagram is used means when there is several items to be shown, but there is not much difference in their values. And in line diagram, the data are drawn in the form of vertical lines. The distance between the line is uniform, and the x-axis is marked with items on a certain scale, and the y-axis is marked with items on a certain scale. It is also a one-dimensional diagram. The line diagram makes the comparison easy, but it is less attractive. For example, in a cropland, some vegetables are there. The yield in tons are marked here. For example, that is a lady's finger, brinjal, tomato, onions, like that it is not. We can plot this in a line diagram. It will shows like this. The vertical lines indicates the yield. That is for a brinjal, it is 30 tons, and sorry, lady's finger it is 30 tons, and for brinjal it is 25 tons, like that. Here the comparison also is here. It shows the lady's fingers are in the highest yield, and the onion is in the lowest yield. Next one is the bar diagram. In bar diagrams, it consists of rectangular bars of equal width, and the bars stands on a common baseline with equal gap between one and the another bar. The bars may be either horizontal or it may be either horizontal or it may be a vertical. It is also a one-dimensional diagram. The bars are constructed in such a way that their lengths are proportional to the frequency. Types of bar diagram: simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, subdivided bar diagram. It is also called a component or stacked or proportional bar diagram, and the percentage bar diagram. The principles of presentation. There are some principles for the presentation of data. The main principles for presenting the data is it should be presented in simple form, and it should create interest to the readers, and it should be concise, that is, it should be short but without losing the important details. It facilitates further statistical analysis. There are two main methods of data presentation. One is the diagrammatic presentation, another one is the graphic presentation. Example, the same craft field is here also we can consider. For this we will plot it in a simple bar diagram. Here they are in the equal width, all are in the equal width, all the columns, all the bars are in the equal width, and the height The height is proportional to the frequency. Height is proportional to the frequency, and they are between the equal intervals between each bar. There is equal intervals of that. Next one is the multiple bar diagram. The multiple bar diagram is used for comparing two or more sets of data. If only two characters are to be compared, means these diagrams are considered as double bar diagram. If more than two characters, it is multiple bar diagram. The multiple bar diagram is simply the extension of simple bar diagram. Bars are constructed side by side to represent the set of values for the comparison. In order to distinguish them, each bars will be marked separately or they will be colored differently. A footnote has to be given for explaining the marking and or the coloring in the. For example, the strength of boys and girls in different classes, like the first year, second, and third year, how many boys are there and how many girls are there, it will be plotted in the multiple bar diagram like this. Here it shows the dark blue color indicates the boys, it is indexed here, and the light blue color indicates the girls. Here the comparison also easy between the boys and girls and also between different classes also there. Types of bar diagram: simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, subdivided bar diagram. It is also called a component or stacked or proportional bar diagram. And the percentage bar diagram. For a subdivided bar diagram is, for example, the blood group of students in first year, second year, and third year. Here it is placed here. That is different blood groups are the how many students are in A group and B group like that. It is plotted in the form of component bar diagram. That is subdivided bar diagram. Here each it is different components. That is one above the others or here. It is not represented like in the multiple bar diagram. Here next one is the percentage bar diagram. The percentage bar diagram is used to represent items whose magnitude have two or more components. The comparison of a component are expressed as percentages of the corresponding total. The total are represented by bars of equal width and height equal to 100 each. These components are not the actual value but the percentage of the whole. The main difference between the subdivided bar diagram and the percentage bar diagram is, in the subdivided bar diagram, the bars are of different heights since the total may be different, whereas in the percentage bar diagram, the bars are of equal height since each bar represents 100%. For example, sales details in a factory. Here the sales details in a factory is plotted is in the table. It will be plotted, it will be first converted into percentage. The percentage is the actual value divided by the total value into 100. After the percentage are calculated, they will be given in this table. For this values, the percentage diagrams are constructed. It shows how many percentages are there, and the sales in 2000 in the year 2000 is 20%, and the gross profit is 18%, and the net profit is 19%, like that. For every year, so that is in 2000, 2005, 2010, and 2015, it was the index shows the colors, that is the each color representing different years. Every each persons are plotted here. The pie diagram, that is the pie chart. The pie diagram is a circular diagram. It may be used in the place of bar diagrams. It consists of one or more circles which are divided into number of sectors. In pie diagram, both the total and the component part of the sectors can be shown. The area of the circle is proportional to the square of its radius. The data is drawn as per the angles. The pie diagram is also called angular diagram. It is a two-dimensional diagram. While making the comparison, the pie diagram should be used on a percentage basis and not on the absolute basis. For example, the blood groups of the students of a class that is are placed in the table. It is different blood groups, and how many persons having these groups, these blood groups. The A groups, 7 students having A group, and 17 students having B group. It is plotted in the form of pie diagram. Here the different colors showing different blood group types of the students. Here the index is given here. The orange color indicates A group. It is 17%. 17% of the students having A blood group, and red color indicates the B blood group. That is 43% of the students are having B group, and AB group was indicated by blue color. It is 25% of the students having AB group, and 15% of the students are having O group. It was indicated by the green color. Next one is the pictogram. Pictograms are not the abstract presentations such as lines or the bars, but it really depicts the kind of data we are dealing with. It is the data drawn in the form of pictures. For example, the pictures are attractive and as well as easy to comprehend, and as such, this method is particularly useful for presenting the statistic even to the layman, that is, even for a normal person. When the pictograms are used, the data are represented through a pictorial symbol. For example, here the sales of red boxes in a week is given in the pictogram, and the days, that is the days are here, and how many red boxes are sold in different days. In Monday there are 4 boxes sold, and in Tuesday it is 2 red boxes are sold. Like that, it is by picture they are depicting the values. The cartogram. In cartogram, the data are presented in the form of cartoons. It is the simple and easily understood by the layman. A cartogram or the statistical map are used to give quantitative information as a geographical basis. They are used to represent the spatial distributions. The quantities on the map can be shown in many ways, such as through shades or colors or dots, or placing pictograms in each geographical units. For example, this figure shows the developing country and developed countries by by cartogram. Here the light colored areas are indicating the developed countries, and the dark colored areas are indicating as the developing countries. Thank you.